All right, we're going. Welcome, guys. Um, Today's our last day of the Build Our Website challenge situation. And before we start, I'm just going to take some deep breaths, and I invite you to take a couple deep breaths with me. I just had some frankincense that I'm breathing in, calling my energy back, disconnecting myself from anything that I was doing just before this or preoccupied with. Just breathing in, pulling my energy back, relaxing any tension, shoulders and jaw, grounding and anchoring. Just pulling myself here into the present. All right. So today, what we're going to do is really just talk about like some final touches that we can put on our website before we go live, and some things that we didn't talk about yet, because what we've done so far is just created the basic pages that you need on a website: your homepage, your about page, your services, your contact, your privacy policy. But if you want to add a shop, we started doing that last time, or if you wanted to create a blog, that's something I wanted to show you guys how to do, just to give you some like additional like, here are some extra things that you can do on your website that might be helpful to you. And I'll talk about like what Squarespace plan I use and all of that. And just the final steps basically that you need before pushing publish on your website. I recommend that you publish your website before you feel ready, before you feel like all the steps are in place and all the things are in place. Like, yes, do some basic stuff to make sure that your links work and that your links go where you want them to go and all of that. But I don't think you need to have like everything all set up and ready before your website is live. I've had several websites over the years, and I'm constantly editing them. So there's never a point at which your website will be done. Like, you're going to be constantly upgrading it and getting it ready. So just put it out there and publish it once you have these basic pages. And then you're going to start just adding to it, making little tweaks, making little edits as you go. And that's essentially how you learn, because I want you guys to be able to manage your own websites and be able to make these edits as you go. So I'm going to go into screen share here. And if you haven't already, log into the website that you're editing, and we'll go through it together. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to hide the chat for now, and I'll come back to it, okay? Hide video panel, and then I'm going to hide the meeting controls. All right. So here we are at our website. Now, what we did last time, we're going to go back here to the dashboard for pages, is we set up our main home, about, contact, and then a page for services or to book a session. I am going to remove this folder right now, because right now most of you will just have a services page and won't have a drop down of like the different types of services, at least not yet, or the different types of offerings that you're going to have, at least not yet. I'm going to show you an example on my other website, just so we can talk about this with a website that has more content on it. So here's my main website, and I have a couple different folders on my navigation bar. And the folder is this: you have a folder here, and then the page is in the drop down like that. And so on my main website, I have a couple different drop downs. So I have classes, and then I have these different classes that I offer. And then I have work with me. And so this would be all the different ways that you can work with me individually or in a group, like personally. So I have my group healings, my mentorship, one-on-one sessions, and then I have a year of distance sessions offering. And so if you wanted to have different offerings than just like Zoom sessions or email readings, you might have different tabs here. So like this could be work with me one-on-one in like book an individual appointment, and then you can add a page. Like maybe you wanted to add your shop here that we created last time, drag that up from the not linked. And then maybe you would change this shop to be go to the gear sign to change the words. Maybe you would change it to be distance sessions. Okay, and so maybe this would be where people went to book and buy distance sessions with you. So you would have, I don't know why it's not showing up here. So maybe you would put all your distance sessions inside your shop. And with Squarespace, you can have multiple different shops. So you can add and create another shop. So maybe you would have a shop just for your distance sessions, and then you would go here to the plus sign, and then maybe you wanted to have another store, create a new store to have like a totally different set of offerings, or you can just create new categories within your current existing store, just to give you some options of how to do things. So what you could do is in Book of Sessions, you could have this be one-on-one services and this maybe be distance sessions. It's just up to you. But since that's not fully set up yet, I'm just gonna remove that to our not linked section here. So we'll go. And then I'm gonna put our services just on our navigation bar. And then have it be home, contact, about, services. And then that's really all you need to start your website and to get things going are these main pages. And then if you plan to use affiliate links on a blog, then you definitely need this privacy policy. You just need the privacy policy in general because the website collects cookies. Another thing that you might want to create on your navigation bar is a resources page. So if we go to if it will let me go to my other website, I don't know if it's going to let me. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. I have resources here. So I've recommended resources, essential oils, and then the journals and planners that I've been creating. So you can create a resources page on your navigation, and it can be a link to any affiliate links that you have or any free resources that you want to invite people to go to. You can create an Amazon shop. This is the Amazon affiliate program for influencers, and that's just if you have some kind of social media presence where you sell stuff. You just have to go and apply to their influencer affiliate program to create an Amazon shop. But you can go ahead here and put any links or anything that you want to share and offer to people on your resources page if you would like to create something like that. But this is pretty much all you need to get started. So home, about, contact, services. So we're going to go to our services and make sure that's all set up. So once you have your services listed and your service offerings, you will either allow people to book them from your store listings like we set up last time, or you can add your Acuity scheduling calendar down here, again, like we set up last time. You don't need all of your services to be fleshed out in order to go live. You just really need one service. You don't even need any services really if you don't want to, but I recommend that you have at least something up there that somebody can book with you and a way for them to purchase it. So one service, one way for them to purchase it, either through your shop or through the Acuity scheduling that we set up last time. Okay, so now once you're ready and you got your services set up, your contact page we did a long time ago, so that should be set up. Your about page, make sure that you have something here. Again, do not stress over this. Like if you don't want to put your picture here, don't. Just say who you are and like what you do and just do it the best way you can and don't stress about it. Don't make a big deal out of it. Don't just, I know that I agonized personally over my about page, and it's like the page I care least about on my website now. It's just, don't worry about it. Just put something here and have it be your story or about you or like what you offer, and don't worry about the words being perfect. I will say that personally, when I come to a website that doesn't have any idea of who the person is, I don't want to buy from that website. I just put this here when we were doing it and setting it up just so that we could put something there. But if I were going to launch my own about my, like this website for real, I would put my face here or a picture of me and then actually my info here. You don't have to put your last name if you don't want to, but like at least your first name so that people know who you are. Because if they don't know who you are and can't like tell if your energy is like a good fit for them, then that's going to turn them away. So on my about page here, I haven't updated this in forever, so it's whatever. This is how my about page looks. Don't worry about it being perfect. I should probably update it because I bet these links are outdated. So get your about page set up. Check that your homepage like has something on it, change the background, make sure that if you have links here that they actually lead to the actual pages. So double check your links, and then you're pretty much ready to go. And you'd want to come down here and go to publish your site and then upgrade to publish. And I want to show you the differences between the different Squarespace plans. Let's see. So personal, I don't recommend because you can't do anything with a personal website that is like in alignment with running a business. You can't add custom code like we did with our ConvertKit forms, or if you ever wanted to add PayPal buttons or anything like that, any custom code at all. Like I use Moonclerk for my classes on my shamanism website, and that's all custom code that I add in. You can't do that on a personal website. I do not recommend getting a personal website whatsoever. Business is probably going to be the one you want to go with to start, and a business plan I will allow you to sell products and allow you to add custom codes. So this is what I would go with, the business plan. And the difference between these two is only like $4 a month. I believe I have either the Commerce or the Commerce Advanced. I can't remember because I was doing something like subscriptions on mine, and I believe subscriptions you need Commerce Advanced. But to start, you really just need the business plan. And so that's what I would recommend, the business plan. And then once you check out and get things going, you're ready to publish, and you can go upgrade to publish. Again, I would publish before it's perfect. I'm serious about this. Publish before it's perfect and publish before you're done. A couple other things that I wanted to show you guys is some other small tweaks you can make and some other things that you guys can do. So if you go to marketing, so we're going to go back to our like main dashboard here, go to marketing, and then come down here to Pinterest save buttons. Make sure you enable this, because this will put a little Pinterest button over any products or images or blogs or pages that you have like this, so that somebody can easily pin it. So make sure you enable that. Then you can do other stuff over here. I don't really use these other options because I don't do Facebook ads. But you can just explore this and check this thing out. Announcement bar is like this. Like this, I have it across the top of my website here. That is put some announcement there. Again, not necessary, but that's what that is. We're gonna go back here. Analytics will tell you where your traffic comes from, like what types of search terms people found your website on. There's no data here. But that's what this analytics is. Will tell you like traffic searches and traffic sources and search keywords, which is helpful to know how people are finding you, so you can tell like which marketing funnel is working the best for you. Now, what we didn't go over was a blog. You can definitely create a blog if you want to. I have a blog on my website. I actually recommend you do create a blog and just write about topics that you're learning about. That's kind of what I did and how I got started with marketing my business on Pinterest. Is I created a blog and then I just wrote about topics that I was learning about. And then I created Pinterest images and put them in the blog and then pinned them to Pinterest. And that's kind of how I got started and getting most of my traffic from Pinterest. So I would recommend eventually creating some sort of blog, because it is a good marketing and a funnel to bring you traffic and clients. And so you just go over here, this plus sign, create a blog. And then like always, you would choose, how do you want the blog page to be designed? Like, how do you want it to look? I kind of like my blog to look like this. So it's a nice, neat list. So I'm going to choose that one. And then here's a blog post. So we're going to go over here. Let's see if it will let me go here. We're gonna drag it up to put it on our navigation bar. I'm gonna delete these other this blog down here, this demo blog. I'm gonna delete this demo pages, this shop. I'm gonna delete some of these extra things just to clean it up. So here is our blog. And you can go to edit here, go to manage posts. And then you're probably gonna wanna delete these demo posts to get them out of there. And I'll walk you through like how to set up a blog post real quick here. So here is the blog post. You would just come in here to edit the content. So you would have your title here and then all your content here. And then this is just like a regular page. You could add images with this plus sign right here. You could add any of these other, you can add any of these other content pieces for your blog post here. So maybe your blog post is gonna be like, how to open your root chakra. There you go. And then you can write here a post about it. And then once you're done with it, I recommend putting some images in there and then adding a Pinterest image. A Pinterest image you can create on Canva. And you can just use a Canva free account. And I have a link for that. So if you go to intuitiveincome.co/Canva, if you don't already have a Canva account, but this will take you to be able to create one. And then you can create a Pinterest image here. I'm already logged in, so you'll just go here and create a design and then look for Pinterest. This could be few. We don't fully need to cover this because you'll just design your own Pinterest pin. With a Canva Pro account, you can save your brand kit, which is your brand colors and fonts, so you don't have to like re-enter it in every time. So that's super helpful. So creating a Pinterest pin here, and then you would save it and then bring it back over to this blog post and enter it and then put the image in here. And then once you're done writing it, you're just gonna save it. And then let's see. If we go to settings, this will allow you to change the metadata of your blog post. So all the like little tiny features. So you can add tags or categories, decide if you want your comments on or off. I don't like my comments on, so I leave them off because I don't like people being trolls. The thumbnail image is the image that people will see when they just come to your website, earthenergyhealings.co/blog. This is the thumbnail image that they'll see. This is where, and you can remove this and add an image. This is your post URL, and you can change the back portion of this. So how to open root chakra. And this is the excerpt. This will go on the blog main page. So when somebody comes to your earthenergyhealings.co/blog, they'll see this thumbnail image and then they'll see the excerpt of the post. So put something here. Then you can change some other things, like if you want to change your SEO title and description to cover a lot of SEO keywords. Social image, this is the image that you can add when people will share it on Facebook. So if when people share the post on Facebook, what image populates, you can change that here if you want to. Then you can create social media, connect social media accounts so that you can share, it could share it automatically when you post. So that's pretty much how to do a blog, and you will learn as you go how to format blog posts. So I'm going to move it down here in the not linked because it's not really set up yet. Let's see here. I'm going to go back to chat. Do you feel there's a good order for the tabs, pages, and the header? Yeah, so Erin is asking if I feel that there's a good order for the tabs or pages in the header. I change mine often. I like home, about, and then whatever. I mean, not really. I think home and then about are like the first two. And then after that, like I would probably put contact last because I don't really like people to contact me, but that's personally for you. Like on my main website, I don't even have contact up here again because I don't like people to contact me. Um, I don't want people to contact me. So I don't have my contact anywhere except way down here in my footer. And so just know that when you are, let me put here and stop screen sharing. Um, you're just going to change it. Like my shamanic healing website has existed for since 2014. So it's like much more extensive and like much more information and many more pages and lots more content than in a website when you're just going to be starting out. So you're going to be expect that you're going to be learning things and you're going to make mistakes and that you're going to need to change stuff as you go. Like I said, I probably edit my website multiple times a week. Just with stuff like little tweaks I want to make here and there, little changes I want to make. I do it all the time. Nothing, it's all flexible. And so, Erin, I get fearful of blog posts thinking need to be long and grand and full of info. No, they don't need to be. The blog posts that do the best are usually list formats, like 10 signs your root chakra is blocked or something. And those are what do the best because people don't want to read usually a long article. They want to like know the main points and then that's it. They don't want to know like they don't want to read a saga for most cases. So the blog posts that always do the best are how to step-by-step posts or like 10 signs this thing. One of my most popular blog posts when I was first starting and when I first my shamanic healing blog was 29 signs you're a shamanic healer or something like that. And it was like 30 things that I just listed out that could be signs that somebody was a shamanic healer. And that was the most viral post I've ever written. And it was also copycatted by like a million spam websites. You know, those crappy forever conscious websites that like just pump out like 85 new posts a day. Well, those websites with tons of ads and are just like, they're spam websites that steal other people's content and then put it on and make it look like it's their content and just for the ad revenue. And so my posts would get replicated on there and it's common for like spiritual bloggers for this to happen. And that was one of the posts that was like the most stolen out of any post. And so I want to talk about that for a second, because let's say you start a blog and then people start stealing your content. What do? Well, you could chase them down if you want to, ask them to remove the content because you have a copyright. But honestly, you would spend so much time doing that it would waste like so much time and energy of yours. In most cases, when they steal your content, they will link back to you. And eventually I just let it go, you know, like I couldn't spend all day, every day chasing down people who were stealing my content. It was wasting my time and energy. And ultimately the information was getting out there and it didn't really matter who wrote it anymore. And so I just said, whatever. And I just said, forget it. Let's see. But the blog post, like, I think I had a big fear of like somebody commenting on a blog post and being like, no, this is wrong. But honestly, it's not wrong. Like just when you write out a blog post, you will know you have like some level of understanding that's like one step higher than somebody who's reading the blog post most likely. So whatever you write, even if it's not perfect, is still going to be helpful to somebody. And so just when you're writing it, just don't put a lot of pressure on yourself for it to be perfect. Like, you know, you're not a recipe blogger, right? You're not wasting people's ingredients. Like there's a lot of less pressure here, and you're really just putting it out there to be helpful. And in like 99% of the cases, it's going to be helpful to somebody, whether or not it's perfect or 100% accurate, because really what is true when you're talking about intuitive things like this, because everyone's experience of energy and everyone's experience of intuition is slightly different and unique to them. And so don't worry about it being perfect or having to be like really in depth or really intricate. Those posts like certainly are helpful, but the content that does the best are like short list posts and how-to posts. Let's see. Use your voice and talk about it, something you are knowledgeable about. Yeah, Angie said there's always something someone doesn't know and that will be helpful and you can add to it later. Correct. I channeled it a lot in the beginning. So in the beginning, when I was learning, I didn't have like a human teacher. So what I would do was, and I practiced and I taught myself like channeling this way, is I would like channel out the posts that I was writing. And then that's how I created a lot of my content. Now I don't do that, and I just write it in my own voice, like Angie said, and just something that you're knowledgeable about, that you write in your own voice. And even if you don't feel like an expert, you creating the content out there and putting it on Pinterest or putting it on, like it'll be on Google, it's going to be helpful to somebody. Now I want to talk about the Google thing a little bit. There's something called Google Search Console. You'll want to add your website to that once you get live, because it will help your Google robots start to index your website. Let me see. Let me show you guys this. So it's called Google Search Console. And what this does is it improves your performance on Google search. And what you have to do, and it will tell you how, is you have to add like some code to your website, and it will start indexing your website. And so let's see if we can do that, but you can't do it until your website is live. So I have 2 websites on here. I have Intuitive Income and Sarah Petrino Shamanism. And you can add, so if you would go, you create your search console under your Google account, you go to add property, and then your domain you would put here once it's live. And then it's going to walk you through the steps of how to add it to Search Console. It says requires DNS verification. Remember way back when we created your domain and I wanted you guys to have the domain on Namecheap so that you could, or domain on a separate domain server, so that you could log in and be able to make DNS edits? This is why. It's because you'd have to add things to your DNS like we did back in the first class, so that these types of things get verified. So it will tell you how to do this, but it's just know that this is a little more technical. However, it will help Google start to index your site a little bit better. And you can go into, like, I could teach a whole class about SEO, but I'm not a super big expert on it. But let's say you want to write a blog post and you want it to do well in search. So we'd write out in your Google search bar the blog post. Let's do it. So you go to Google. So you're going to go to Google Search Console once your website is published, and you're going to add your website there and get Google to start tracking your website so that your information shows up. So I'm going to hide this. Okay, so you're on Google and you click this bar, and this is like all the Google suggestions. These are all the things people have searched for. So maybe you want to write a blog post about how to open the root chakra. Those are all the things that people have searched related to that. So when you're creating your blog post, in your excerpt, in your title, in your blog content, you want to include as many of these related search times as possible. So maybe you want to do how to open and balance the root chakra. Maybe you want to do how to open and balance the root chakra meditation with crystals, how to open up the root chakra. And just, you can search variations of this and see what types of things people have searched, because then if you include that in your content, then Google's going to index it up higher in the search results. And so why are we doing this and writing all this blog content? Well, I personally believe that blog content is going to help people find you, because ultimately what's going to happen is you're going to start your healing business, your intuitive website, and you'll probably have people to practice on. When you first start sharing about things, like, there's probably going to be people ultimately who will want services. But then what comes next is that you're going to essentially exhaust your warm market. Warm market is the people that you know. And so you need to find a way to bring other people in and help them find you so that your business continues to do well. Because eventually the goal, what I want you guys to start thinking about is, yes, doing one-on-one sessions, but what are other things that you can offer on your website that can be like passive income, essentially? Because once you have a blog, You can use your blog as a traffic source to bring people to you via on Pinterest or on Google. Once people start coming to you, not everyone's going to want a session. So what you can do is you'll have your blog. Eventually, once you have enough posts on your blog and then enough traffic to your blog, you can apply to Google Ads to start adding ads to your blog, which can add a passive income source. But then also you want to think about, okay, what are some other things? What are some other things I can offer that can create income? Okay, so these ways that I've done this are digital goods like ebooks, meditations, PDFs. I've also created e-courses, which is let's say what I did once was I wrote a series called How to Take Your Power Back, a 5-day e-course for like taking your personal power back. And it was five days, and it would go to their email once, every day for 5 days, and then it would give them step-by-step things to do in order to like do that healing for themselves. And it was like identify the source of power loss, and then it was like visualize this, and then each one was a different step by step, and then I put it together in an e-course and it emailed out to them as soon as they bought it. And that's something that you can do with ConvertKit, which is the email software that we talked about in a previous classes. You can set it up so that you can sell an e-course in your Squarespace store. You can sync your Squarespace store to ConvertKit, and then once somebody purchases that product, it will automatically send them that e-course. So that's just an example. And you can do the same thing with a meditation, a guided meditation. Once somebody purchases it, you can sync it with ConvertKit to have it automatically send them a guided meditation once they purchase it. One thing that you can do is record a guided meditation and have it be a gift for people that opt into your email list. That's another idea. I have lots of ideas for helping you grow your business and like start to create income. So when you start writing the blog, you'll want to have a few posts, and like obviously publish the posts as you go. But as you start sharing them to Pinterest and making Pinterest images for them, as your traffic increases, you will be able to apply for Google Ads. So it's called Google AdSense, AdSense. And Google AdSense doesn't pay as much as it used to, but it's still better than nothing. And I have 2 websites that have Google ads on it right now. And I think I get like $100 every 3 months, but that's because I haven't been writing blogs as much as I used to, and I deleted a lot of my old content. You can get it, the more content that you have, you can get it up to several $100s a month with more content and more traffic, which comes from having more content. Ultimately, what helps spiritual businesses do well, and what helps any online content business do well, is you have to produce content so people find you, and then once they find you, then they start to opt into your paid offerings, which could be a session, which could be any number of things. Like I said, I've done digital goods, ebooks, meditations, PDFs, downloads, recorded healings for certain things. And I've done e-courses. E-courses have done really well for me in the past. I don't have any right now, but I should probably create another one. And an e-course is pretty easy. It's like a blog post that something simple that you know how to do, that you send out to somebody over a series of days. And each day is a small actionable step that they take. So that's pretty much it. Like your website is ready to go live as soon as you have services on there. You don't even need to have services yet. You can just have it published the way that it is. And once you feel good about it, then just going in to publish your site. Actually, no, not once you feel good about it, because you're going to feel nervous and like it's not ready. And you just need to go publish your site and just publish it. Like it's not, I think I always made it such much like a much bigger deal than it really is. Like You don't even need to share it. So like the chances of anybody finding it before you're ready are pretty slim. Just know that when I first created my very first website, I was still a graduate student getting my PhD, and I didn't want anybody to know who I was or that I was doing this. So I didn't put my last name on there. I never shared it publicly at all. Like my picture was on there, but not my last name. And I never shared it like on Facebook or anything like that. I was just writing blog posts and then putting them on Pinterest. And that's how it grew. And I did so anonymously for a long time. And like people did not find me. So it is possible to do that. Does anyone have any questions? Because I could go in any direction here, but we're pretty much like we're done. Like your website is done. You just have to put your content out there and then press publish.
My only issue is I'm not even on Pinterest. Like, and so
go
I got a
Pinterest account and set
I mean,
it
I
up.
have an account, I just don't utilize it. So I don't really even know what people would use it for, you know?
So I don't use mine really that much either, but know that Pinterest and YouTube and Google are the top search platforms. Pinterest is not social media. Pinterest is a search engine that people go to search for things. So people would search on Pinterest for me for like how to do various energy healing things. So if you think about Pinterest as a search engine, people are looking for how to do things. You want to, and that's in my experience, that's what's done the best in terms of blog posts for me is DIY, like how to posts, list posts, and information like here's my recommended resources or 10. I have like one that's like 10 affiliate programs for intuitive websites, or just how to ground your energy, or how to do a grounding meditation. And then you would just write like do this, do this, do this, do this, because think about yourself, way back when, and you didn't know how to do anything, like, or what even the third eye was. And you're going to be writing about, okay, what is the third eye and what does it do? And then you just go through and write what you know, and that's like a blog post, and it doesn't have to be long or hard or intensive. And so Google is obviously a search engine, the top search engine, but Pinterest is also a very big and popular search engine. So not putting any blog posts on Pinterest is a huge mistake, because Pinterest won't pin your blog posts for you. You have to do that. So I don't utilize Pinterest that much personally anymore, but I do utilize it as a business and do pin my blog posts there. And you might say, okay, people don't use blogs anymore, but that's not true. People 100% still Google all sorts of things. And that's what a blog is when somebody Googles something and then there's your content right there. People still Google all the time. And so like, do I go in and I want to read somebody's like 10-page long blog post? Not really, but do I Google stuff often? Mm-hmm. And do I land on people's blog posts for how to do certain things? Mm-hmm. I have a group board, Jordan. It's called Spirituality and Intuition. Yeah. So once you guys, I don't know where to post the link to this, but I have a group board. It's called Spirituality and Intuition group board. I can create another shamanism group board, but I have a Spirituality and Intuition group board that has 26,000 followers, I believe. So I already did all the work for you. So all you have to do, it's called spiritual. Let me see if I can find the link. Let's go over here and go to share screen so I can find it for you. I have let's go, Pinterest. Here we go. I have like instructions on the group board to comment under a recent post to request to be added, but I largely stopped monitoring that group board a long time ago. So I'm sure I have tons of requests to be added. Let's see if I've saved. Get out of there. Yeah. Let's see, go to saved here. Okay, here's all my boards. And I can create another group board for shamanism stuff. But I have one called spirituality and intuition. Let me see if I can find it. This one, spirituality and intuition. This is my group board. I don't know how many followers it has anymore, but this is it. And I can post a link to this in the Mighty Network for this class, but yep, it's a group board already for spiritual creators. So you can just request to be added. Let's see, create a pin code. I can do that later. I'll do that later, but I'll post this in the group so that you guys can request to be added to it once you create your Pinterest account. Let's see. Let me write down to do that. And then I can create like another one. And then we can have 2 group boards that we pin to. A long time ago, I had a big Pinterest. Like I was big into Pinterest when I had my blog. So I have like 30,000 followers on Pinterest, which benefits now because now our pins have like the group boards have a high reach. But I'll create a new one and share a link to both of those probably later today. All right, that's all, guys. Thank you. And I'll see you later.
Thanks.